In 2013, Mayor Rahm and the Chicago Public School Board closed 50 neighborhood schools within the city limits, citing a $1 billion deficit. Now, the plan to roll out these school closings was to close down disrepaired, underutilized school buildings and to merge these students into what supposedly would be better performing schools able to absorb them. Now, one of the biggest concerns for all was the safety for the children, as many of the kids had to travel further than usual to get to school. That travel included crossing gang territories on the heels of a hot summer surge on gang violence and murders in the city of Chicago. Now, community activists in the Chicago Teachers Union made sure to warn Mayor Emanuel that they would be held responsible if one child got hurt on his or her way to school. We wanted to relive the activism that transpired out of the eventual closing of 50 Chicago public schools, as well as get a glimpse 1/3 into this school year.
The decision to deal with the 54 schools was not taken lightly, but it was taken with the notion of how do we make sure that every child can get to a quality school with a quality education.
Mayor Rahm Emanuel has been one of the biggest war criminals when it came to the human rights violations in our community. Mr. Mayor, would they send Israeli children into Palestinian territory to go to school? Would you mix Sunnis and Shiites? These are tribal conflicts that the city of Chicago bad decisions are creating. We say that the loss of one life is the loss of two men.
Rahm, let's face it, those violent trees are racist. Rahm, let's face it. One-term mayor! One-term mayor! I'm coming to you today to talk about the school closing. Rahm Emanuel thinks that we all are toys. He thinks he can just come into our schools and move all our kids over gang lines. They need safety.
So far, since the schools has been switched over, there's been no problems as far as gangs related or anything like that. To me, it's been a great thing changing the schools over.
Miss Ernestine Johnson, a safe passage worker, just gave her feedback on the issue of violence as a result of school closings. Here are the opinions of Mr. Jose Huertas, a single parent whose children go to a receiving school.
You know, that's been getting me mad is just a lot of these schools being closed. I'm glad that they got a cop right here to, cross the kids. They got the people working for the city, the community watch.
There was a lot of threats that to the city, to the mayor, that there was going to be a new mayor because of the school closings. Do you think that now that the school year has gone on, that's still on the minds of people?
Oh, definitely, of course. It should be. It has to be. We got to push the city, the government, and to make them realize, you guys' kids are going to school, and what about our kids, So.
I don't think so. I think they better calm down by then and everything will be all right.
We ran into Alderman Joe Moreno at his annual school fair to talk about school closings, whether or not he sends his own kids to public schools, and what he might be facing the next municipal election. How many schools were closed in your ward?
Started out with 8 on the list. We were able to get 7 of them off. Unfortunately, we had 1 close. Tough internally and just in with the kids and getting them in, but in terms of the safe passage, we've had no issues, 0 issues with that. It's gone very well. Citywide, I obviously can't comment on the ground because it's not my ward, but what I get in terms of reports from other aldermen, they say have similar stories that I do. Yes, my daughter goes to a public school. Excuse me, I'm a product of both Catholic school and public high school. So, of course, my daughter went to D. Diego kindergarten. In terms of elections, I think it depends on how aldermen handled those situations and how the mayor handled it, and how they advocated for it or didn't advocate for it. And we'll see how people continue to stay involved, because as we know, a protest, a press conference are tactics, and the bigger strategy in supporting our neighborhood schools is long-lasting, and I'm hopeful that it will. History tells us that it won't. People tend to fall off and whatnot, but I'm hopeful that it'll continue to have that engagement with the community.
There's no question that the community activists and the teachers union put the mayor and CPS on notice that our kids were vulnerable to gang warfare if safety measures were not carefully put into place. Thus far, it's safe to say that 1/3 into the school year, the Safe Passage program is working in the First Ward. And despite this early success, the voters still have time to make a final verdict on school closings in the next municipal election. This production has been brought to you by Northeastern Illinois University Intro to Audio Production.